from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. It's Week 6 of the NFL on EA Sports. Jones and the New York Giants taking on Alex Smith and the Washington football team.
We welcome everybody to the Garden State. EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This is the scene just before we came on air. This New York crowd fired up by the arrival of their G-men as they burst from the locker room. They're ready to go as the Giants get set to match up. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. From the 6. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. So out comes the Washington offense onto the field. They'll be led out by a man making a remarkable return to the football field. It is Alex Smith.
And what's a quarterback's best friend?
Balance?
I think you're right. I agree with you. You know, a lot of guys would say great receiver, right? A terrific offensive line. But I agree with you, balance, because if you can run the ball effectively.
And the giant rush gets home as down he goes. A bad start there. A big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down.
It may be cliche, but it is something that holds up over time, doesn't it? If you're the visitors, you don't want to let the crowd in the game early.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they did there. But you said also this defense, they're going to give them a lot of looks like we just saw there, aren't they?
They certainly are. They're a proud unit, and they're going to ride the momentum of this crowd with them, and that's why they get after them early.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down.
12-yard gain on the play. And it's third down.
From the gun on third down, Smith. Open man is Sims. He's got it. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. It's a big play there for Washington on third down. 43 yards.
We expected this defense to be tested by this passing game coming into this one. And there's an example on this first possession of the game.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. A run here for J.D. McKissick. Yeah, he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
Logan Ryan on the tackle. It's a gain of 9. Brings up second and a yard.
On second and a yard, Smith. They tried to throw on second down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1.
Coverage defensively by Logan Ryan.
To throw is Smith. Credit the Giants defense that time in pass coverage. 4th down. And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
So now here are the Giants backed up to start their first drive. Leading them out, the man known as Danny Dimes, their second-year quarterback from Duke, Daniel Jones.
And this is a game for grit, determination, and somehow finding a way not to panic. What a horrible start for them. I mean, they haven't won a game yet. So now, as a quarterback, you're not just talking to your team. You've got to demonstrate to them what they need to do to win. He's got to be the leader by how he plays.
Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a game in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
But that's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
Intended for Evan.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Operating from the gun, Jones. Jones in trouble here, and down he goes. It's Ryan Kerrigan getting the sack.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. Fourth down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. Greg Stroman back deep for Washington. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. We'll call that a 49-yard punt with a return of just 2. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. Now Washington going to retake the field for drive number 2. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit in the same spot again.
Yeah, we'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot.
No gain on the play.
Back to throw, Smith. And he finds McLaurin. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
Complete.
They give him 16 yards there, and it's a Washington first down.
16 yards.
Well, starting drive number 2 off on the right foot. Completion for the first down. Drive 1 is they had to be pretty frustrating because they moved the football. They just didn't get any points out of it.
But warm-up QB, too. Let's bring in the backup. I mean, my goodness, you take them downfield, you don't score points. You know I'm being totally facetious here, right? I'm just kidding. Nice first drive. Rarely do teams score on every single drive in a game, but they like what they did there. They just hope they can pay it off this time with some points.
J.D. McKissick.
Tackle made that time by Dalvin Tomlinson.
The tackle made at the 47-yard line. A 3-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 7.
On 2nd and 7, Smith. And that one is incomplete. And it also concludes quarter number 1. We're scoreless after 1.
No score.
Washington on 3rd down. They've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. A shotgun snap for Smith. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. Give the sack to Blake Martinez.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
In tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now.
Exactly. It's like that paper being ripped. And right now, they've got to find a way to get it back together.
Here's the Pro Bowl punter, Tress Way, on to punt for Washington. Jabril Peppers is deep for the Giants. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. So the Giants getting the football back here for their 2nd drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down. This is Freeman on 1st and 10.
When the offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
On 2nd down, Freeman. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
1st and 10 at the 42-yard line.
On 1st down, Freeman. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
Deron Payne on the stop. 2 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and 8 at the 44-yard line.
On 2nd down now, it's Freeman. And a good pickup there. He gets about 6 up to midfield.
The tackle.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
An extra man in the secondary for Washington on third down. They run. Devontae Freeman. And Freeman lost the football. And does Washington have it? They do. He was trying to do anything he could to get that final little bit for the first down. Instead, he lost the ball.
Yeah, and he was short of the first down, but not by much. Trying his best, as you noted, to get there. Sometimes that extra effort can cost you.
Now we get another look at Washington on offense. We've seen both of these offenses still sort of in that figuring things out phase, but I suspect some action on the scoreboard soon as they start out here 1st and 10. Following the fumble recovery, Smith. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Jabril Peppers on the coverage.
A carry now for McKissick. And here's another tackle made at the line. So they're converging well on the football now. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss.
And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. Dexter Lawrence in there to take him down on what will take us to the 2-minute warning. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL.
You rarely call your punter a weapon, but he certainly was there. How about that? Pinning him down at the 1-yard line and helping out the defense in a big way. I'm telling you what, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I might be thinking safety right now.
Back on offense, New York gets set to take over. And they got across the 50 last time, but fumbled and turned it over, so they'll be looking to have a short-term memory here, Mr. Davis.
Not only a short-term memory, but a whole lot better ball security. Because if they take care of the ball, continue to move it, their chances of scoring some points, they've got to feel pretty good about. They thought they had things moving in the right direction last time. Fumbles, they don't just affect you on offense, they affect your overall team because now your defense has to make that stand up.
On 2nd down, it's Freeman, and he will double the space they have to work with as they take it from the 2 to the 4. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. On 3rd down, Jones. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
62 yards on the punt that time. Wow. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Time to spotlight the quarterback, Alex Smith. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground. But that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. The throw taken in by Sims. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Now Washington going to use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Smith on 1st down. To the right side and complete to Thomas. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. Throwing again on 2nd down. Smith is going to find his running back. It's complete.
Smith's pass complete to J.D. McKissick.
The final shot here before break. Smith. Open man here, Sims complete. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. So plenty of action on the field, but no action right now on the scoreboard, at least as of yet. 0-0 is our score. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. We'll get started up at Lincoln Financial Field in Philly. And that one tied 14 apiece in the second quarter. From there, it's off to Jacksonville to see what's going on with the Jags. And that one's at halftime with the visiting Lions out on top. 2 touchdown passes for Matthew Stafford. Finally, let's get to Indianapolis to check on the Colts at home at Lucas Oil Stadium. And they've got the lead in their ball game over the visiting Cincinnati Bengals. Phillip Rivers has thrown a touchdown there. Meanwhile, in our game, to call it a defensive battle would be an understatement. 0-0 is our score. We'll be looking for something in that second half as we send it back to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. So no scoring in our first half. What will the second half bring as we are now back underway? Taken about 7 yards deep, and no fireworks to start the half. This will be a touchback. New York ready to go again offensively. And we thought this game had the potential to be tight, maybe not this tight, scoreless as we start the third quarter.
And I love the way you use the word tight. I'm going to take it a little bit different direction here because it's not just tight on the scoreboard. I think both offenses have been tight in how they've played this game. No one's been loose. No one's been free. They've got to find a way to make some plays, and I don't think you do it if you're really tight in everything that you're doing in the game.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Freeman again. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
Freeman, the ball carrier.
An extra man here in the secondary for Washington on 3rd down.
A gain of a yard. Brings up 3rd and
now Jones. We'll drop this one down to Freeman. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
Giants. First down.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
A first carry for the Clemson man, Wayne Gallman. They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so. On 2nd and very short, Jones.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Now Jones on 1st and 10. Jones hit and the ball's out. And it's Washington that scoops it up. 20, 10, and he gets it back into the end zone. It's a fumble recovery leading to a Washington touchdown. So many times tight games decided by one big play. And a lot of times, of course, it's the offense. Here, it's the defense coming up huge.
And you know head coaches walk around locker rooms, walk around bench areas saying, guys, somebody make a play. It's a cliche, but it applies here.
Dustin Hopkins on now to add the extra point. It's good, and Washington will take a 7-0 lead. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Now this will make it into the end zone, and it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return.
25-yard.
The New York set to take the field. And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, It's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And nearly picked off there, and it would have been a great time for their first pick. Instead, it's second down.
It's now
Third quarter from MetLife Stadium. Here's a 2nd and 10. To throw again, Jones. They'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 12 yards there and a first down.
The 37-yard line.
And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. The DN, Jonathan Allen, making sure his presence is felt.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. From the gun, Jones. It's complete to Golden Tate. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A gain there of 21 yards.
47-yard line.
That was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
Nothing in that first half, nothing on the last drive, but they're moving now with a 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Jones. Open target here, Darius Slayton. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
But look what we have here, a sustained drive, and that was certainly AWOL in the first half. They really struggled to try and move the football. But right now, they certainly seem to have the formula working. Let's see if they can keep it up.
A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Brings up second.
Again, they'll run with Freeman.
26-yard line.
And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
1st and 10 at the 23-yard line.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. From the gun, Jones. And this is caught at the 8. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Another good completion on the drive as the Giants have a first down. Even though this offense doesn't have a single point to its name, they're not totally out of this game yet. A touchdown here, they could be in business.
And how about that last play? Now they've got momentum going. So, you know, I'm a big advocate. Get back on the line of scrimmage. Throw another play at them while you've got them rocked on their heels.
Throwing, Jones. This will be caught at about the 5. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. Evan Ingram, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Giants are an extra point away from tying up this football game.
As a general rule, quarterbacks don't want to lock in on a receiver before the ball is snapped. But in this case, based on the matchup he thought he was going to get, it was favorable for his tight end. He locked in on him early and found him for a touchdown.
And an important one that is, as we are tied now early in this fourth quarter. So that drive, 80 yards, 9 plays. And it was finished off by a touchdown by the New York Giants. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. That's fielded on the back line of the end zone. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Time to spotlight the quarterback, Alex Smith. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. A throw left side to start the drive is complete. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down.
And partner, in a tie game in the fourth quarter, you and I both know in the NFL, that's when you lean on your stars, and he came through with a nice catch right there.
12 yards is the pickup, and it's good for a Washington first down.
Nice job there of utilizing his big target, and he didn't overthink it. Understands the catch radius, understands that he knows how to use his body to keep defenders away from the ball, and puts it right out there for the nice pickup.
Well, the second down throw on target. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. That one a first down pickup of 8.
Washington.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter.
Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. Dexter Lawrence able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
Here's a quick throw out wide. It's McLaurin. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long. And that was a heck of a play there on the outside.
Partner, sometimes I think on a play like this as a corner, you've got to think to yourself, all I got to do is slow him down so others can come over and support. But in this case, he said, forget that. I've got this. Sorry you had to make the run for nothing, fellas.
And the giant rush gets home as down he goes. Wow.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say, when you have obvious passing situations. Hard to vary it up and fool the defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Back on offense, New York gets set to take over. Excellent job by their defense to force the punt and provide them with this opportunity, all tied in the fourth quarter. The drive will start with a carry by Devontae Freeman. And he'll take this forward only up to about the 7. Deron Payne, the big D tackle there to make the stop. Getting down to the good stuff, all tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Jones. Catch made by Slayton. And this will be a gain of right around 3 from the 7 out to the 10-yard line. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
That's complete to Slayton. First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down. Finds his tight end Ingram. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Now you're right on the edge of field goal range. You've still got time, but get up to the line of scrimmage and get set.
Three tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. Freeman. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
I like the call there because that was one to take time off the clock and get them closer to getting out of here with a W. In the mind of the play caller, all you want to hear is tick, tick, tick.
They'll keep it on the ground. Freeman. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in the 4th. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. And some space here. And that's a touchdown as they've broken our tie here in the final minute of the 4th.
Did you see them hold up 4 fingers at the start of the 4th quarter?
They were ready.
They were definitely ready. They may or may not have done that, but they certainly have played that way. The 4th quarter has belonged to them, and now the lead belongs to them as well.
Gano for the extra point. He's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. That time, 75-yard drive, 5 plays. And it's capped off by the late touchdown. It's a 7-point lead here in the final minute of the game. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. Fielded near the back of the end zone. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee and they'll put it out to the 25. Now Washington down by 7. At time, a huge factor. Now their losing streak in danger of continuing as they come up on 1st down. Back to throw. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Terry McLaurin, and it's 2nd down.
It's now 2nd and 10.
They'll look to throw. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come.
And 10 yards.
Looking for McLaurin, and he's got him. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Now Washington going to use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as he'll stop it with 27 seconds showing on the clock. Over the middle, it's Thomas. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Now Washington going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in the football game. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Oh, no, he lost the football. And the offense will get this one back. Boy, that could have been catastrophic at this late stage of the game, but they avoid disaster.
14.
Well, Charles, this one's going to be hard to digest. You take the lead into the 4th quarter, lose that lead. Maybe they felt like they let this one slip away a little bit.
They will definitely feel like that because when you have a lead in the 4th quarter, all you talk about doing is finishing and closing a game out. But when you flip it over, how about that? Making the comeback and then finishing the game, sealing it on defense, they will feel jubilant in their locker room.
So for the Giants,